According to Garry Kasparov, there are three dimensions of chess: space, time, and material. I'm going to show you how these dimensions of chess come into account from a practical sense from a game that I played recently, and how to weight these dimensions when you are evaluating a game over the chessboard. Anyway, let's dive in and take a look. All right, so the game starts off, I have the black pieces. We're playing the Sicilian Four Knights variation, which is my favorite opening for black, if I get a chance to play it. I have a video on that came out a couple videos ago, 2 videos ago, I believe. Go check that out. I think it's very helpful. Here, my opponent already made a blunder. I actually could play knight e4, which I missed because this is a blitz game. If you can see, this is a 3-minute blitz game. And the point is, yeah, he can take my queen, but I can take his queen as well. And his knight's also hanging, so he would have to... His bishop's also hanging, so this is why you can get away with this and win a pawn in that situation. Anyway, I played queen h5 because... queen a5 because I'm used to playing queen a5, because I'm not used to my opponent giving up this pawn so early on in the game. But again, I'm not attacking the bishop because the queen is defending the bishop, but I'm putting pressure on it in case the queen moves away or something like that. Anyway, he takes on c6, and now he takes. And you might be saying that this is bad because my pawns are messed up, but not really. He's going to castle kingside, and that's because if he does go queenside, I can bust open his king position very easily. So he's going to go kingside, and now I actually have an open g file for an attack. I have an open b file for my other rook, and my king can just nestle into this little hut right here. You also can castle kingside and then put your king on h8 and then put your rook on g8 and hide your king that way. Those are 2 viable options. Okay. I know I said I can take here and bust open the king position, but the king's not going to go this way. Plus, I want to preserve my bishop pair. That's more important at this point. My opponent develops the bishop. I bring my queen to h5, which the computer says is an inaccuracy, but the whole point is I don't want my queen to be stranded over here. I know he's going to go kingside, or most likely going to go kingside. I want my queen over here ready to attack when he does go kingside. So my opponent does go kingside, which is best according to the computer. I put this rook on b8, the open rook. I see an open file for my rook, so I put my rook on an open file, right? That's where they belong. I'm attacking b2, which he defends. And now I play rook g8. Now, you might be confused about a move like rook to g8 because the king is in the center of the board. And you might be thinking that's bad. It's not really bad at all. Like I explained, my rooks are on open files, which is good, especially this one because the king's there. My king can also come into this little hut that's created by my pawns after I move my bishop. Now, it's just important it's more important about you realizing what the chess position entails and what's going on in the position and how you play it. You actually could castle here, and that's totally fine. And now after a move like this, you put your king on h8 and then your rook on g8. So that's also good too. But the whole purpose is knowing you have to put your rook on g8. That's the whole point of this position. Okay, so while your king remains safe, of course. Okay, so queen e2, I don't want to trade because I'm the one attacking. I have an open file to his king. So of course I don't trade, and I play queen h3. Now, my opponent defends. And now I start playing h5. I play h5. Why am I pushing my h-pawn? Because I provoked this weakening move. Now I have something to bite onto. My pawn can bite onto this, open up the h-file, and open up his king position. And here we have the first real mistake. Now, this is a mistake because this completely opens a diagonal to his king. My bishop wasn't really great here, but now I can come improve my bishop to c5 with tempo because it's check, and he can't interfere with any piece. If he does, he loses material, like the rook or the queen. So he moves to the corner, but of course now we can take a pawn because now his pawn is pinned, so now I just grab his pawn. So now we're up a pawn, and you're probably wondering, what am I talking about 3 dimensions of chess, and what does this have to do with this game? Well, I'm going to show you. It's very important, and this is more something that's instinctive on my end because I've been playing chess for so long, too long probably, and I developed an intuition for it. But again, sometimes your intuition can fail you, but I have an intuition for it. And you're not going to have an intuition for this if you're new to chess, but this is something you want to be conscious of, these three dimensions of chess and how to weight them over the chessboard, because material isn't everything in chess. It's not like checkers. We have to weight other factors into the game, right? So here I play the best move, and this is where this starts. I play king e7. The computer says it's the best move. Now, why is this the best move and what's going on in the position? I'll explain here. First of all, we have to assess the position. The point is not that I'm up a pawn. The point is that getting rid of this pawn, which I did, completely opened up the g-file. Now, if I get this rook to g8, it's GG, game is over. Why is that? Well, our bishop's also covering g1, which is a square that white would like to defend from. Now, if the knight comes here and tries to come into the game, let's say after this, right, we have checkmate. And if any other piece tries to intervene, we just take it. So it's really hard for him to get his pieces into the game and defend his position. But I'll show you in a sec why the rook to g8 is so powerful. And here, my opponent plays b5, b4. I move my bishop, attack his rook, and he moves his rook. Now, here's the move I played that is considered brilliant by the computer, but it's not really brilliant if you just understand the basic elements or basic dimensions of chess and how to weight them when you're playing a chess game and evaluating a position. I already said the rook being at g8 wins the game. So who cares about material at that point? Just think rook to g8 wins the game. Now, I'll show you later, if you don't see now, why rook to g8 is so powerful and why it wins the game. But you also have to see that too, of course. But let's just say, for argument's sake, you see rook g8 wins the game. What move are you going to play here? And I'm sure you'll find the brilliant move if you know what to do there. I played bishop a6. Now, it's brilliant because I'm giving up a bishop. And if he takes the bishop, he's completely losing, which he's losing anyway. Now, if he takes the bishop, which he didn't, he played pawn c3. But if he takes the bishop, I play rook g8 and I win the game. And I'll show you exactly why in a second, why that's so powerful. But here he didn't do that and played c3, and I just moved my rook there anyway. It doesn't change the fact that my rook's here. So now I'm leaving this bishop hanging and this bishop hanging, and I'm completely winning. The computer announces mate in 5. Now, why is this so powerful? Well, there's nothing he can do. In fact, he blundered here and played knight f2, and now the queen's no longer guarding g2, and we have checkmate. But, again, this is so powerful because there's nothing he can do. If he brings his rook here, he gets mated on the spot. And if he brings his knight here, we just take it. There's nothing he can do to stop my next move, which is, let's say we just play a random move here. The next move is rook g2. And there's nothing he can do to stop rook g2. He can only delay it. And once rook g2 happens, we're threatening mate and we're threatening the queen. And if he takes the rook, it's checkmate that way. So the game is over. So there it is. Rook g8 is the move. And that's how you weight time, the dimension of time in chess. In this game, we didn't have a spatial advantage necessarily, but we had to assess the position and evaluate that a certain move or a certain position was winning, and how do we use time to our advantage? And if our opponent took the bishop, they would be using vital time to take that material, and in essence, that would give us a winning position, in which it did regardless at that point. They had no choice whether they took it or didn't, but still, the whole purpose of knowing that in this position, the most crucial move is getting your rook into g8 and into the game and doubling the g-file. So I hope that made sense to you guys. Hope you enjoyed that video and it was instructive to you. If you did, check out this one. I'll catch you guys next time. Go play some chess.